Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are. I just got done doing back to school shopping, spending the rest of our summer holidays just gathering up stuff so that they can go back to school because they're not going back to school till next week. One of the things that I find most fascinating about the internet, right, is Disney mums especially, or the Disney adults. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I'm not overly fussed about Disney. I have no interest in going to any Disney resort, any park, anything. I might go one day for my kids, but I'm not banking on it. So basically whatever I have to say about Disney, take it with a grain of salt, because quite honestly, I'm heavily biased in this area. I just got no interest in it. But I can understand that I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum. If that's what they enjoy, that's what they enjoy. But I will be honest, some Disney adults kind of scare me. Disney is really expensive. I don't need to go there to know that it is insanely expensive. And some people do save up all year. A lot of people save up for multiple years to be able to take them and their family to go. And with that, I'm aware that you got all the lightning passes and the summit passes and the bubble fantastica. I don't know. I'm aware that it's a bit of a system, right? You book, but then you then got to book to do other things, to book to get to the things that you want to book that you already have booked. The thought of it just madly stresses me out, but maybe I'm just not a very organized person. Mums who are there, who are saving up to take their kids to go to Disney. There is one woman who did appear on my FYP. Yes, she did. Miss Hillary. She was telling us this diabolical story on how, despite her and her husband and her baby and her 5-year-old all getting insanely ill, she still took them on a plane to go to Orlando to go to Disney.
You have to find a wheelchair in this airport, put your husband in it, hand him your naked 7-month-old, and get your little 4-year-old little girl and wheel your entire family through the Orlando airport to baggage claim, to then go get on a shuttle, to wait an hour for a shuttle and ride the shuttle for another hour to get to Disney, to spend a week at Disney.
And I just want to start at the very beginning, because honestly, this was dedication. So she states that it is her daughter's 5th birthday coming up, and she had a surprise, right? She'd been saving up to take her and her family. I believe even the grandparents were there as well. She took everyone and they were going to go to Disney.
Put a finger down if you spent 1 year saving and planning for a trip to Disney for your entire family for your daughter's 5th birthday. You have the resort book, the stroller reserved, the shuttles, the meal plan, the lightning lane, all the things, all the Disney things. If you've been to Disney, you know. Spend 1 year doing this. And the night before you leave to go on this trip, your daughter says she doesn't feel so good.
She claims that she got all the passes, the fast passes, the whatever passes. She got all of that together and she was like, right, we're going to go to Disney. The night before, they're set to go. So her daughter actually had a pageant. When she came back from her pageant, she started violently throwing up. Ooh, that's a little bit strange. Now, a key thing to note with this as well is that same child had literally stayed up for that whole entire 24 hours. By the sounds of it, didn't have a shower, didn't have anything. Actually went to the airport, still with the makeup on her face, and still with the pageant hair and everything. She had no sleep and she still went on the plane. And then shortly after that, the mum then gets horrifically sick.
And you tell yourself it's food poisoning, because it has to be food poisoning, because it can't be the stomach virus. So you both stay up all night throwing up everywhere, all while you're supposed to be packing, because you're also the type of person that waits until the night before a trip to pack. So you get up the next morning after 0 hours of sleep, and you decide to make it to Birmingham, where your flight leaves out of. You're going to make the 2-hour drive to Birmingham and reevaluate the situation when you get to Birmingham. Throw everything in the car, get everybody buckled in, and you hit the road.
For me, right, if I'm really sick, daughter's really sick, you're not getting any sleep. Ain't no way I am getting on that plane. Not just because I'd feel like shit and I just cannot cope. If I feel that ill, I'm not like I'm not getting in a car for 2 hours, and I'm most definitely not getting on a plane. So not just because of me feeling sick, I don't want to give whatever the hell this is to other people, even if it is just food poisoning, because I swear she did bring that up as well. For me personally, even if someone has food poisoning to the point where they are like chundering and it's coming out of graphic, it's coming out of both ends, I still don't think you should be around other people, because I just don't feel like you can be like 110% clean if that is happening to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is an instance where you need to be in bed and then wash your sheets after. You shouldn't be like roaming around. They decide, amongst all of this, to get up and actually get in the car with their 7-month-old, the daughter who hasn't slept in 24 hours, who still has her full like pageant gear on. For some bizarre reason, she has not had a shower. Travel all the way to Birmingham. Is it Birmingham? We've got Birmingham here, so yeah. Travel all that way. Tell me why they don't decide to turn the car around despite the 7-month-old who is now throwing up.
Your 7-month-old is throwing up in his car seat. He only does it once. You say, well, he's 7 months old. Maybe it was spit up. And you keep going. You cleaned him up. He's okay. He's fine. Cleaned him up and keep going. Denial. It's called denial. But we're in it deep, okay? You get to Birmingham, get through security, get to your gate, board this plane against your better judgment, okay?
Despite the baby now throwing up, the daughter who hasn't slept in 24 hours and the mum, they still haven't turned the car around, because this is meant to be for the child. How is this even fun anyway? Like, how is this like a happy birthday thing? Let's go to Disney even though you're like on the brink of death. Like, that doesn't, I don't know. This might be slightly controversial, might not be, but I've always been extremely hesitant about, especially with my second of my first, you kind of want them to experience everything, and then you realize that they can't actually remember any of the stuff that you've just like paid a load of money for them to do. Do you see what I mean? With my second, I was a bit more like, you're not gonna bloody know what's going on over here. Give them experiences, yeah, but saving up for like a trip to Disney for like a 5-year-old and a 7-month-old, just unless the adults are mad into Disney, then there ain't no way in hell I'd be doing that. Basically, they get their way through security, right? They toddle the way through security, and then the vet, which, by the way, how the hell did they even get through security with 3 of them being ill? It's like the 7th layer security, and I don't know how they even managed to do it. But anyway, they sit in the plane, chaos strikes. The husband then starts getting ill.
You get strapped in, and at this point, your husband's not doing so well. And you take off, and your 7-month-old has the most diabolical, ungodly blowout in his diaper that you have ever seen in your entire life. Up the front, up the back, out the sides. It's everywhere, okay? All on your husband, who's actively choking that vomit at this point. You reach into the diaper bag to get the pack of wipes. You pull it out, and there are 2 wipes in this entire diaper bag, and no extra clothes. Because you didn't pack the diaper bag correctly because you were throwing up. You get a blanket, and you wrap everything in the blanket and shove it in the diaper bag. You begin your descent into Orlando. There's 30 minutes left on this plane. You're almost there. And your husband hands you the baby. And he says, I can't take it anymore. He reaches into the seat in front of him and pulls out a motion sickness bag. And
that's what happened to the baby. literally out both ends, didn't have any wipes really. I mean, two, no, I don't know what you're doing. To the point where I think she was literally like cleaning up with the clothes and whatever. So the baby was then just like completely naked with this diaper that was like being blown out of. Can you imagine the smell? Can you imagine the stink that was going on in that plane with not only the husband he starts throwing up in those little like white bags, not only that, you have the baby who's doing a full blowout. The child with like the pageant makeup.
And you get off this plane and you get to Orlando with your husband who looks like he's on his deathbed, 4-year-old who hasn't eaten or slept in 24 hours, and was also, by the way, in a pageant the day before. She gets home and gets sick almost immediately. So she still has on makeup from this pageant, and her hair is still done for this pageant. And I don't know what she had on her body. I don't know what clothes she had on. Immediately find a wheelchair because your husband says he's about to pass out.
Lord only knows how groggy that child must feel. And the mum also doesn't feel very well as well. So she's here like trying to sort everyone out. And the cherry on top of the cake is that he's getting wheeled out. The husband is literally getting wheeled out of the airport with the 7-month-old baby who's naked on his lap because, of course, they didn't pack enough diapers and wipes. And they've got all their poopy, disgusting stuff in the diaper bag. Okay, so I hope to God no one on that flight got seriously sick. I would be absolutely like, I would be so shocked if no one got sick. I didn't even get onto the kicker. Do you want to hear the kicker? Are you ready for it? They were insured for this trip. They had the option to ring up at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. Maybe not that early. I don't know when lines open. But they had the opportunity to ring up and say, hey, sorry, can't make this trip. We're all really, really ill. They had that option. They must have done because they were awake for like a full 12 hours before. They could have cancelled this. And her justification was that she didn't cancel it because she didn't like want to be on the phone or something. She was like, oh, well, you know, the lines would have been really, really busy and all of that. I'm like, fuck the lines. Screw the lines, right?
We were delusional idiots that day, okay? Of the worst kind. And we deserved everything that happened to us on that plane. We did. And I hope to God that no one else got sick. And I still to this day think about the people on that plane. This happened 2 years ago and I still think about those people. I'm mortified. I don't like those people. I don't like those people that send their kids to school sick and get on planes sick, travel sick, or I don't like those people. We don't like those people. And what makes it even worse is we had insurance on this trip, okay? However, when we had the conversation of, you know, do we go ahead with the trip? Do we, you know, call the travel agent? Like, what do we do? It was at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning that we had to make this decision because we had to leave to go to the airport to catch our flight by 5 or 6. It's very early in the morning, not the best time to be making phone calls and trying to figure this whole thing out. And at that point in time, it was just me and my daughter that were sick. We didn't know anyone else with any kind of sickness, stomach flu, like nothing. We didn't know anybody else that was sick. And husband and baby, mom and dad, my mom and dad, who were also on this trip, everybody else is fine. Just me and her. We weren't actively sick anymore. Me and her did share a meal the night before, or the day before.
I would have thought that like some airport staff or some when letting them onto the plane, you know, they do that little thing where they like look at you to make sure that you're like sober enough to fly. If you got that when they like a captain comes out and they like shake your hand when you go in. Apparently that's to see if you're actually safe or sober enough to fly. I learned that from a pilot who was answering questions on TikTok. Thank you very much. So I'm really, really, really shocked that they managed to get that far. If they're saying that everyone was like on their deathbed, was like that sick. I'm so surprised that they even managed to get that far. And I cannot believe that it ended with him literally being wheeled out. That is so dangerous. Like, that's dangerous for obviously your little kids, your 7-month-old, yeah, like, especially. But that is so dangerous for everyone else on that flight. Anyway, so she did actually do a follow-up video, and her follow-up video was her basically saying that she uploaded it thinking that only the people that knew the story would just like get a giggle out of it because it was like a funny story and she wasn't expecting it to go like viral.
You know what arguably makes me an even bigger idiot is that I posted that video yesterday for my 5 followers who already knew that story, thinking it would be a little giggle, a little remember that time at Disney, remember that, only for it to go semi-viral and get over 50,000 views and get informed in the comments of what a terrible person you are. First TikTok, okay? Who does that? As much as I wish I would have kept that to myself, now, the damage has been done and it's out there.
When you then couple that up with her follow-up videos of her saying that like she doesn't have thick skin and people are being like harsh, because of course people were coming down on her like a ton of bricks, because you know you cannot get away with posting that sort of stuff to TikTok and not expect severe backlash, and rightfully so. Like, even though this was 2 years prior, I would like say that now if she's saying like that was really selfish and you know I would hope and expect that she hasn't done that since. However, the thing is that she did say like we could have a little giggle about it. I'd never share that story. I'd be so embarrassed that I would put my children and other people at risk by making them, like, even with the 5-year-old, if you're not fully aware of what that could have been, she could have got really dehydrated. She could have like needed fluids. Not a joke if you're that poorly. And all for Disney.
I don't know who y'all think y'all are dealing with here, okay? But I'm not built for this. I'm not built for this level of criticism. I'm fragile, okay? I'm not an influencer. I do not have thick skin. I stopped reading the comments a long time ago because I could just see, I did not expect this, but I could just see where it was going. And we have inner peace here that we have to preserve, okay? So I stopped reading a long time ago. But you know it's bad when you have multiple people in your life texting you to check on you, to ask if you're okay.
Like, I don't know much about insurance for stuff like travel insurance for this kind of stuff, but you could have got some refund back on this. But no, of course, they didn't. They decided not to do this. Instead, they decided to go all the way. I don't even know how the rest of that trip went because she never says.
Like I said, I stopped reading a long time ago, but my husband, who thinks that this is hilarious and this is entertainment for him, I think he used the words ripping you to shreds. The way I want to go crawl back into my little hole that I was in before I made that video.
Yeah. That is the end of Hillary and her TikTok. She has since deactivated her TikTok altogether. I get it in the sense that we've all had, you know, things that we've really planned and made nice for our children, and then something gets in the way and they can't go and it's disappointment. I always just think that like children's health and safety comes first, obviously, and then also the health and safety of others. I just don't know what the hell they were thinking.
It's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain what happened other than us just trying to rationalize this nightmare away. Like, it can't be this. It can't be this. Just delusion of the worst kind. And yes, hindsight is 2020, and we 100% looking back, we should not have gone on that trip. I do not recommend, encourage any of that behavior. Would do it differently. And I paid for it dearly, okay? And you should 100% wipe down your airplane seat with a Clorox wipe. The tray, armrest, the whole area with a Clorox wipe before you sit down. You should absolutely do that. But no, we did not leave the house that morning with the intention of getting anyone else sick or killing their grandma or ruining their Disney vacation. We did not do that. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that is pretty much all I had to say to you guys today. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.